Nope, three. I just got a triple. I just got a triple with my nade. One on it, one on the point, one on the point. Where the fuck's our team? I got a fucking triple with that nade, bro. That was awesome.
Thank you. You helped me so much.
Did you die?
No, you killed them for me. You prevented me from dying.
Thank God.
Yeah, those are
Triple kill!
I got another triple. One, I blew up mine, and then the two nade kills. He comes over here. Yeah, see, he's coming this way right now. Just turning on. What? I'm an idiot. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Yeah, let's just turn on the outlet and then, oh my God. Let's just turn on the outlet and then unscrew it. Wow, I'm an idiot.
Agent Swan.
I know.
So the traveling vendor stopped again, and there's no one there.
Yeah, I think it just stops randomly for some reason.
Oh, there it goes. Hello? Hello? Fuck. Sniper. Where do you think you're going, buddy?
Is a light helping?
See, bro. No.
There's a fucking blimp, dude. There's a hot air balloon.
Take your hard head off. Go up.
I hit him.
We're good.
Yeah, jump. There's two nakeds in a hot air balloon heading toward me. Oh, I just killed one. Oh, he just fell through the sky. Oh no. Uh-oh. I think Chopper's coming back. He's kind of coming back. Bro, he's going for excavator. Oh, I hit him once. Bro, I don't like how Chopper is coming right up my booty soon. Oh, is he dead? No, he's still alive. Now he's definitely dead.
Oh, it's back here was good, isn't it?
Yeah, drop that there.
Oh yeah, he's
Nice.
definitely dead. He's gotta be dead.
I'm taking some of this metal out.
God,
How are you
I'm a
gonna move
horrible
the
person,
cook,
man.
I'm just gonna start cooking it.
No, he's not dead. 4.5 health. He's not dead. He's
We're gonna
crashing though.
Set up some oh, they're set up right here.
Yeah, we might need more electric furnaces.
Yeah.
Oh, thumbs up. He's still raid is resuming. Raid is resuming. I repeat, the raid is resuming. 2 booms already. 3 booms. 4 booms. 5 booms. 6 booms.
And probably is it satchels or C4?
I don't know. Damn. Well, the hot air balloon part here before they cover.
Yeah, you can always rotate back through mid.
No, they're here.
They're gonna have an op. One cat. Good smoke.
Is not.
2 in market.
Lit headshot. Careful market. Nice. Nice.
One more.
Pistol. Very nice, very
Fucking
nice. Grab the op,
4
grab the op,
kill.
grab the op, grab
Op
the
right
op.
there.
Oh,
I
you
want-
should grab that.
I want this guy.
Nah, I tried getting it.
My bad, I should have grabbed it down for you.
You're good.
Woo, that was pretty good quad.
Or wherever that fuck that was.
No, he waited for it to leave. Don't drop a bomb, I don't want to again lose it. Careful for the push from behind too. Fucking blue just running
Smoke
in.
CT.
Top left.
One on Palace.
Okay.
Connector.
Where'd it go?
CT.
Ticket. Flash and ticket. Use ticket. It's too late to be yelling. What a flash. He can see you there once he peeks ticket.
Hmm.
Very low.
Nice.
Good shit. You
Another 4.
You toggled.
Oh shit.
I did.
Fourth
Yep.
one.
Confirmed.
Dude's carrying. 19
Yeah.
and 9.
Who?
I'm at the bottom.
Damn, boy. I
Don't
am.
look at me.
It's my rust. It's my rust
On-
training,
on
guys.
bottom.
It's all rust.
No, I'm on bottom.
It's
You're
all rust,
in the middle.
guys. Oh, fuck me.
I need Taskmaster difficulty. Oh, I headshot one.
No, you didn't.
I'll just bring mine out. We still have these points. They have not grabbed it yet.
Nope. That's all I care about is kills.
You're just hiding in the bag of snipers, and I'm.
Hostile sighted.
I know, and I'm kicking them.
Get in there, Ashton. Get it to your right. Oh, he's dead. Never mind.
Yeah,
Up top, Ashton. Up top. Up top.
Switch bonds.
No, you're lying. You're lying. Fuck, you're not lying, because they're up here. They're up trying to kill me right now.
Hey, Rain!
What?
I have body armor!
Who
The guy's
does?
sniping up here. Me! I was using you guys' body armor. Or I'm using him.
Come on, keep me alive. Keep me alive. Keep me alive.
Look at the feed.
Keep me alive.
No battles in second place.
No!
Crush those dirtbags.
Oh, fuck me!
Can you help you, Rain?
Help, 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 help. Oh, thank God. Alright, we're good now. We're good. I gotta hurry. I gotta call this shit out. Don't touch A. Do not touch A. I repeat, don't. No, it's just going in. Come on. These guys have to be moving dead silent or something, so I'm not hearing anything.
Stop this down. Move. Playing this shit fucking game again.
I don't care who you are. I don't care. You're hacking, dude. You're fucking hacking. That's the only guy. Yep, level 1. Dude's clearly fucking cheating. I just sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. I'm fucking on my goddamn tippy toes, crouched. And this motherfucker just knows exactly where I am and starts lasering me.
Wait on. Fuck this game.
Bro, look at the counter again. Look at the counter.
Oh shit.
I keep forgetting to take their orders.
Dude's zoned out.
So they're just standing there staring at him at the back of his neck, waiting on them for him to take their order.
Right there, Coda.
That's awesome. Okay, guys. That was kind of sus.
Wherever you are.
Just aimed right at him as he fell down.
4 last operator standing.
Hey, don't worry, guys. You're not gonna get the diffuser. He can go hide if he wants to, because you're not gonna go get the diffuser. I'm trying to see if my door over there has a way to open on this side. He didn't go down to somebody. It was a Capcan that nobody saw. Which Capcan, of course, is the last one alive. Yep. Look at these idiots. All 4 of them. Let's hold the point. Let's hold the point. Let's hold the point. We're not gonna get the diffuser. Let's hold the point. Oh, I think one's gonna go get it. Dude, there is. It's right there. It's right there. Just shoot the target. Shoot the target. You're gonna blow. What? You're gonna blow my door and you can just open it. Oh my god, dude. That tells you exactly who I'm playing with. Oh my god. They're gonna die to one guy? Please tell me there's no way. There's no way. What? What is match? What the fuck? One guy, one captain sat in the same spot and killed the entire team.
He's scared of you.
Oh shit. Coda! Coda, dude! You had the perfect shot! And he looks right at you. Yeah, that's why you peek out a little more. He's looking at you behind some Tupperware shit. And he's like,
that's why I went to go move.
He doesn't see me.
No, he only saw me because I had my cap can there.
I know.
Yeah, that I would have only saw you.
Like, Coda, come on, dude. He had a perfect line of sight and he didn't shoot. He waited. He did the same thing you did, Ashton. Or he saw you first.
I went to go move, but he shot me.
Oh my god. Alright, depoted. Where'd you go? Carson, where'd you go? His footsteps are right here. Did he fucking fall? God fucking damn it, dude! How does he die? How does he fail? Oh my god! I can't with people, guys. I cannot stand these people. I'm trying to find a light number 2, and I'll head back. I'm lucky I left my tower. Just in here. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can jump back over. Start getting this shit back to the ship. Fucking Carson's too incompetent to make this damn jump. I was like, I should be able to make this jump out of the thing, right?
You were like, oh, you were like, oh, I'm gonna see if I can make this jump. Carson too incompetent. Runs right into the railing just like I did.
Forever's like, LOL, shit talking that dies. Yes.
Bot. No. Are all our bots gone? Yeah. They died. Rip. Just you two. Nice. Nice. One on site, one coming to site. Probably rotate B. One long? Where the fuck did he go long?
What the fuck is that? Is that a fucking brain spider? What the fuck? the death watchers.
There's so many of them.
Line them up. Gun.
I'm trying. I hammer all them. There's so fucking many.
Yeah, I'm saying kill him, bro.
I'm trying. I got fucking
Keep going, bro. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going, man.
I'm trying. Shit.
You just let all dead. Alright, all dead. Alright, we're going. Alright, hold on. She's talking. Dear neighbor.
Welcome.
Coda, get the fuck out of my face. Fall! There we go. Oh, damn. Oh, wow. That right there. That fucker right there.
More of nothing? Artyom, the only thing I can hear is that Geiger counter ticking.
Doing a message. Yep, here we go. Boom. There you go, boys. Fucking Kappa and the Dead Skull. Kappa Path, I got it. Boom. I got Kappa achievement. That's fucking sexy, dude.
Do you remember the joke?
What is the downside to eating a clock? It's time consuming.
That's so dumb.
Schedule 1. Okay, Galaxies.
Autism has become an epidemic.
All right. Rain, you are here. You're recording. Great. Let's just get started. I think we'd all like to get through this, and everyone else who's not here can hopefully watch the town hall, and will, just be missing the Q&A, but hopefully everyone has questions ready, locked and loaded. So I can just skip through here. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming. I'm super pumped about the energy that we have in general chat and going forward into our first raid. Quick note, I do want to say that we are a pro soundboard guild. So if you look below your disconnect button, you have a soundboard, and we loaded up sounds. And we can add, bitch. Yep, and just go ahead and find your favorite one if you want to right now. Just test them out.
The fitness screen pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.
Okay. All right.
Come.
Shut up, bitch!
All right.
All
Shit.
right.
I thought the soundboard volume would turn it down for everyone. All right, everyone,
That
fucking stop.
backfire.
Everyone, all right.
My ears.
We got no one over there.
That will be disabled. All right, that will be disabled for raid. I need to have a hotkey to just turn it off for everyone. But those will be disabled for raid. But hey, you know. All right, moving on. All right, so quick, just going over some of the roles. Iwin's running Sunday team. Freeze is running Monday team. So if you guys have questions about, like comps, party stuff, loot, whatever raid specific questions like strategy, those are the people to reach out to. If you have problems with like Discord, guild bank, guild permissions, whatnot, you can hit me up. As well as like if you want to talk strategy, you can reach out to any one of us. You can talk to Dave. The tanks have been great in getting onto strategy. So let's just have like really open dialogue about all things strategy and what we think. No one's going to get smacked down for sharing an opinion. Dave is going to be running our Sunday team. He's going to be talking the most, making the calls, which is really great. I'll let him get into that in just a second. Tanks and Dave should be the main people communicating. The biggest gap that we had in previous raids was that tanks and healers were not able to communicate. There's, essentially one voice, and now we want to have the most important people in the raid talking and communicating. We want that front of the pack, back of the pack in sync. Iwin's still going to be doing the long range pulls, explosives, and then he's going to be filling in gaps because we all know who Iwin is. We know how much he cares and how much he knows. So he's just going to be looking for gaps and filling in and making sure we're keeping up pace throughout the raid. Then everyone else just focus on being your best. Pretty fun thing that we're going to implement is we are going to implement the interim GM of Interim. Right now, we don't have a GM. We've talked. It's, in our mind, unimportant title. I think we're all just a group of friends. There's no GM of the friends, whatnot. So we're going to do this kind of as a reward where every week we pick a new interim GM of Interim where their only responsibility is before raid, whether they're a Sunday or Monday raider or both, they have to give a pregame speech. They'll get, a gift basket of consumes from the guild bank, so like haste pots or mana pots or explosives, stuff like that. And then they'll get access to a GM only chat. This is really just, a fun thing. Seems cool. But then that's it from me. I'm going to pass this off to Dave and let him kind of take the reins.
Test. Everyone hear me well?
Somewhat. I mean, you're a little choppy, but yeah.
Am I choppy?
Yeah.
So,
So
do the Canadians raid Monday? What's going on here?
How about now? Does that sound better?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're in the bathroom.
I'm just in my spare bedroom actually. But, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll get into a little bit. I mean, I think most of the people here know me. Been playing with most of you since, I don't know, maybe 2+ years ago for some of you. Some of you just the past few months. But just a little bit about me, I guess. I did raid lead successfully TBC from Karazhan to Sunwell Clear. Pretty competitively, not the same sort of speed that we're doing or what we're pushing for, but definitely was successful in clearing all content pre-nerf. So I definitely have some knowledge on there. So I think that a lot of people could have some confidence that moving into this stuff, we're gonna have some good strategies, and really my main objective is to talk as little as possible. And just really allowing the raid to perform. I think one of the issues that we're having previously was raid lead maybe talking a bit much on certain aspects of things. Callouts wonderful, but really what I'm looking to do is essentially just optimize and try to do what we do best, which is kill shit pretty efficiently. So that's just a little bit about me, what I'm sort of thinking about doing. I think that most people are on the same page. We want to kill shit quickly. We want to move through the raid effectively. No one wants to be raiding for 2 nights, 4 hours a night, right? And I think that we have the team to do it, and hopefully I'm able to assist with that, at least on Sunday. The main things that I look for, I think, is what anyone in the raid looks for. It's why anyone joins any raid. You want everyone to know the encounters, bosses, trash encounters, making sure everything's all prepped, and just making sure that we work as a team. That's sort of my main thing. It's going to be a bit weird hearing me talk all the time because typically I'm a pretty quiet guy. But that's really, what I'm looking to do. And hopefully as we continue to progress, maybe, I know raid leading as a healer is pretty fun because, I'm able to sort of be, watching a lot of the encounter a bit removed. Hopefully, our tanks will be sort of joining me with regards to call outs and things like that. So it's more going to be a collaborative effort versus, an authoritarian dictator effort. That's sort of my vision. I think that most people probably would agree with that. Really, with regards to the current content that we're on, I wrote this little slide here where, essentially I'm going to be making the call outs, but I do want to hear from the roles that are important on those call outs. So I'll just go through things real quick, Hydros, transitions. Why does it say Murlocs in there? Did I put Murlocs in there? I did, didn't I?
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay, yeah, no, I did.
It looks like it was some
Lurker
work
on the ad phase, Leo, if it's targeting you, you don't have to call out that it's targeting you, but essentially, I want people to be able to notice these things. And if it there requires a call out from perhaps a tank on a transition or on a healer on a specific encounter for lamb hands or anything like that, I want people to be able to speak up. I know previously, perhaps in some of our raids, people wanted to say something but maybe didn't want to because they didn't want to get yelled at or called a fucking idiot. But that's not necessarily how I think it. We're all here trying to kill the same shit. We're all here trying to encounter the same bosses. So, if it's appropriate for you to make a call out, really those specific roles, I think that, as we flow through these things, that's what we're sort of looking for. And as you progress into Sunwell, into, okay, fine, let's say Hydro, Black Temple, not so much Zulamon, but into, some more challenging content, it's going to be important that we have that flow because there's going to be a lot more encounters that require sort of communication between tanks, healers, DPS, just in Killjade, there has to be a lot of coordination. On Muru, there has to be a lot of coordination. So might as well get that down now in SSC and TK before we get into the content that's actually a lot more challenging. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be, talking. I'm probably going to be a little bit more hands-on with regards to some call-outs. I love calling out 2-minute cooldowns. Just maybe reminding people every once in a while to be using them. Looking through some of our logs, people are not using the 2-minute cooldowns as much as they maybe should be. These are things that hopefully I'll be calling out, and eventually I won't need to. But really, that's sort of what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to sort of bring more team effort, good vibe. Raid leading, I'm not going to be a type of guy who's shitting on people. If you fuck up, I know that you already know that you fuck up. And, no one really needs to be sort of reminded of that in a negative way. That's the type of guy that I am. I think everyone knows that that's the type of guy that I am. And, there's sort of, I think the majority of people in this, raid are, sort of people that want to kill shit. We don't want to be people who are spending a shit ton of time, and we definitely don't want to be the people who are being chastised negatively when, really it's not required. Which sort of blends into the next slide, which is, sort of the culture that I'm going to be promoting, at least, which, this is pretty much the exact same things I just said. We're all going to do the same stuff. We want to clear content. We want to clear it fast. We want to play well. No one joined, though, to wipe on trash. No one joined to die and have, progression on easy bosses. So if it gets to that point, perhaps something will change, but really, that's not really my intention. Based on everything that I've seen us do for the past 3 years or two and a bit years, it's not the type of guild that we are. Every pull, every night, let's just make sure that we're having fun, doing our best. That's really the best thing. And that's sort of the vibe that I'm going to be putting out there. And hopefully, I talk with a lot of good people, in whispers and different channels and shit like that. I think that we're all sort of on the same page with a lot of the stuff, right? Next slide. and that sort of takes me away from the raid leading stuff and some of the healer stuff, which, healing, tanks, we have to be progressing a lot together. I type a lot of the shit in the healer chat. all the healers know that we actually have our own chat in game, or we have had our own chat in game, where essentially I am just spamming notes and things like that. So maybe we go over some of the notes that are here. Maybe I pretty much just diffuse everything that I wrote down in the healer chat here. I don't want to bore all the DPS and the tanks with this sort of stuff, but just some important things for us to do, because I think over the past 2 weeks, definitely our healing cores got a lot better, and I think that last week in particular, I think the healers did probably our best or second best raid. I think that we've had all expansion. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to make some call outs, and I haven't done it in I've obviously raid led some caravans and shit like that, but I haven't done a 25-man raid lead in a decent amount of time. I was raid leading a bit in Cataclysm with my previous guild, but I'm excited to do this on Sunday. If anyone has any notes, comments, things like that, send me a message, or don't. But you can send me anything. I'm pretty cool with shit. Yeah, and that's really it. Any comments, questions, and anything I can answer. Thanks, Roy. Love you.
I love you too, baby.
But yeah, that's really my vibe. That's really and to the guys that I haven't raided with, some of the Monday team people, if there's anything that I need to do to change shit, 100%. I'm always open to stuff. Essentially, I'm a 35-year-old dad, and I have red hair. So like I'm used to hearing comments about anything. so just keep that in mind. And I'm missing a tooth. I'm getting it fixed on next week. I'm getting the fake tooth put in. So
Get a gold tooth?
No, not a gold tooth, unfortunately. No, I want a diamond. My wife was gonna fucking kill me though. Yeah, that's really that's really my stuff. If anybody has any questions or comments for me, wonderful. If not, I assume no one does. But yeah.
There's at the end of the presentation, there's an open forum for any questions and answers. I think it's just faster and smoother if we just leave everything for them, and then that way they can address it to whoever they need to address the question to, or collectively as a group. Which brings us into my slides. You guys all know me as being probably one of the most like vocal and involved people from Big Yikes. Kind of was forced upon me due to our lack of attendance from the GM over there. As you guys know, he kind of showed up once a week and wasn't really involved in strategy or any type of guild activity other than raid leading on Sunday. Which, running into what Dave mentioned, something that Monday's team has been doing that we've never been able to really do on Sunday, but I always told Freeze that I thought it was really awesome, is that the way that they run it on Monday is it's not necessarily a singular voice, but like a collective of people based off the roles given to them that they are strong suited in, and that is where the different comms and things are being noted. Whereas in Sunday, I mean, there's been times where I'm trying to even make pull calls or telling, a tank to move something, and even I'm getting insulted, back in Big Yikes. So trying to change the overall culture here.
That is true. I heard that.
Touching base with like what Fuss said also, we are not going to be running the guild in the sense of it's like a dictatorship coming straight down from one person, I believe, and I've tried to do since in Big Yikes consistently. I've tried to always make everything a collective effort and make everything about what we as a whole want to do. So when we get further into the slides, when we start talking about like Lou and everything else, these are our own personal suggestions, but like after we give you our spiel on it, if you guys have counterpoints to why you think it is a fucking bad idea for what we have planned, or whatever the case is, or even like going forward, if I come out with like a strategy, like for example, the strategy for the bubble pool we did in TK on Sunday that wiped us like 2 times, that was 100% on me. I thought it was something that was going to be a lot easier to pull off than what it turned out to be. And I guess I should have, let us continue to get practice with what we were currently doing before trying to take such a leap. So in the future, if there is such a leap that I'm looking to take, and let's say you're a healer or you're a tank or whatever, I'm fucking mage or whatever the case is, and you think it is a really bad idea, I mean, feel free to reach out to me and give me your points about why you think it is a bad idea. We can go from there. Nothing I say or regarding strategy or anything like that is set in stone, and it is flexible to change. With that said, going forward into this first week, the expectation is that we need to do well, which we normally do, but really hone in on that. I'm not looking, especially since we are taking in some new people and dropping off some other people, as well as transitioning certain people to different roles. I am not expecting us to go in there realistically and beat our prior times or go in there and do a 50-minute clear. It would be nice and ideal. I think that we can definitely do at bare minimum an hour or sub-hour clear of each raid going into this first week. The main reasoning why this is so important is because of recruitment. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like right now, and it's been the case for the entire TBC, is that we've been unable to ascertain a consistent shadow priest. Usually they'll show up for a week or two and they drop off for various reasons. Typically it's because they're a bunch of fucking parse monkeys that all they want to do is parse. But that is where we're at. And in order to assist us with recruiting, since we're no longer under the Big Yikes umbrella, we don't have any history of logs or anything else, we really need to do well this week, especially in Sunday's team. Monday's team is going to be a more lax team, and I will let Freeze get into that when we get to that point in the slides. But essentially Sunday's team is the push team, and it is going to be with higher expectations, and every expectation that myself, Fuss, or Freeze hold on anyone in the Sunday team is stuff that we ourselves are practicing. And Big Yikes, I know one of the major complaints always was, well, how's Zev going to get on us about being late to raid when he's always late to raid? How's Zev going to get on us about having farmed, certain bad trinkets, or having all of our stuff enchanted and gemmed and whatever the case, or using proper consumes when he's not doing it? Well, you can rest assured that the three of us are prime examples of that, of we practice what we preach, I will say. So, the expectation is that everyone's coming and putting their best effort forward. If, I have some people that are coming in the Sunday team for the first time and they're really scared, and I get it. I understand, especially transitioning from Monday to our team where we push a bit harder. But with that said, long as you put your best effort forward and you look to improve, no one's going to criticize you. We're not going to demean you. And something I tried to push back in Big Yikes with Zev consistently with conversations was, if someone's messing up or something, then if you need to address something like very quickly, like, dude, you died to spout or whatever, run back, let that be it. And then after raid, go and have that conversation with them. I did that back in Big Yikes with he died 2 weeks in a row. Pet's no longer with us, by the way, but I'm just giving the context. He died 2 weeks in a row to spout. Had a conversation with him, and I tried to figure out so what's going on. You're a big part of our DPS. If you are dying, it's going to drastically reduce our kill time because he's a major figurehead, and that goes for any of our DPS, or hypothetically we lose a tank or whatever the case is, it's going to reduce our efficiency. So trying to figure out what can be done to resolve it. I mean, ultimately what I told him was bro, just fucking stand on me during the fight next week and just follow my steps, and then hopefully with visual plus practice of seeing when the proper timing is and how far to go into the water versus being still on the platform, have that reinforcement. So that is something that I believe in doing in terms of how I want to assist the tanks and Dave with leading the raid and team and the guild as in general. So all about people that want to improve and do better each and every week will, always have a welcome place. If someone's stagnant and stubborn and they don't want to consume, they don't want to put forth the same effort that their fellow guildies are in, then at that point it's a different situation. And maybe, doing some type of SR raider or seeking elsewhere a different type of guild. From what my interactions with almost all of you, because I've recruited almost everyone in here, I don't believe that's the case. I think everyone here wants to do well and wants to put their best effort forward. So, especially for Sunday team, I'm going to be looking and seeing that you are using, if you're melee, you're using haste pots, you're using scrolls. I guarantee you that, I don't buy gold or anything, and I have to log on every day to at least do my dailies to afford consume. So I totally understand how expensive and stuff they are. With that said, we'll also be, trying to utilize the guild bank in ways that help assist fellow raiders out, moving forward. That's why we're trying to stockpile some stuff, especially for next phase where we're going to be progging, whereas back in Big Yikes, essentially the guild bank was an extension of Zev's bank, and it was like a piggy bank for him for the most part. I don't want us to do that. It's been that way since vanilla. And moving forward, I want it to be a tool to assist us. So that's the first and foremost of majority of things. My major takeaways is make sure you're coming to raid with full consumes, including, like I said, if it's applicable, haste pots, scrolls, destro pots, whatever the case is, because I will be looking at that kind of stuff. Drink walking between pools, especially if you're like a healer or something, you should be coming in with like 300 water. Like biscuits don't work for drink walk, but if you come in with mage water and Fuss and Basil and the other mages, Freeze and all of them, they're happy to create it usually an hour before raid, and they'll usually be in Stormwind or Shad or whatever, and you can go trade them. That is really essential for us keeping pace and not having to have people fall behind and have to stop and drink, especially on dangerous pools like such as the shield bearer, where you can stop and drink for a second, and by the time you catch up to the rest of the group, they're going to charge and one shot you, and then all that drinking was for nothing. So that's the main thing. I'll be working together with Dave and the tank to make sure that we have cleaner pools. Going back, Fuss and some others have shown me like VODs from our recent raids, and it's kind of shocking how we'd go into pools and we would have like 5 to 10 people there, and we are pulling, and everyone else is trying to play catch up, and it's like no wonder we had deaths. So trying to make sure we're always ready to go, making sure the tanks are proactive and being at the top of the pack with myself, and other than that, just making sure that we're doing our part with one another of assisting one another. So for example, on Sunday raid, we have Orodal coming in, or I apologize if I'm butchering your name, but as a ret, he was healing prior to this. He has some red experience and stuff like that, but probably not in the same context that like Big Oracle does, where Big Oracle's been raiding with us consistently now on Sunday's team for at least like, I don't know, 2 months or something, almost 2 months. So, that is a area that, he's able to step in and assist with anything, with if he needs any tips, tricks, or whatever, he can feel free to reach out to myself and Big Oracle. And we should be relying on one another, people that are excelling in their given roles, using them as, not being afraid to ask for help and or suggestions of what we can do to be better. I myself, am almost autistic with how much time I spend every week reviewing the logs and talking to the best hunters in the whole world, and honing how I perform and everything else. And so I think amongst ourselves we can do that with one another. But on a less serious note, yeah, just changing the guild culture here. I tried to do it a bit in Big Yikes and have us do more fun activities. I want us to get back to that. To having, fun nights after raid, even if we finish raid quick enough to, go hop on a game of Among Us or Counter-Strike or whatever the case is and shoot the shit or whatever. Lock in for raid, but outside of that, you guys should feel free to, talk like you want and everything like that, long as it's not in an offensive manner to another person. And all about promoting fun here. Especially, I've seen that a lot with Fuss. He's like the fucking meme king, apparently, that he's been keeping all that locked up back in Big Yikes, and now that he's here, that's all he that's everything he's about. So that's my part. I was supposed to talk for only like 2 minutes, and I went way over that because I don't know when to shut up. So I'm gonna pass it on to Freeze. Freeze, you can talk, bro, unless your mic is fucked up again.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now I was like, yeah, 1.5, 2 minutes.
Shut
That's
up,
good.
bro.
I will do. I prepare for 2.5 minutes here. Or I will always appreciate first adding the soundboard. So Monday's not gonna be as big as Sunday. I mean, the entire goal of Monday is, we're semi-hardcore raid in the sense that we want to clear content efficiently, improve week to week, but importantly, we want to have fun doing it. The folks that usually, trust me, even on a bad run, we have a lot of fun just in comms. We're not trying to be world's first speed run in Monday, but we're also not going to treat it like a casual pickup group. So the biggest thing, if I were to ask her, I'd actually say two big things. One is preparation. So come to the raid with consumes, reagents, repaired gear, review the assignments beforehand, because every minute we spend, waiting on somebody to get ready is, 24 other people just sitting around doing nothing. That's not fair at that point. And during the raid, to help keep the pace up, which means, it's not, I mean, do the same thing that Ivan suggested. Try to get some mage water, try to get, try to, refresh your mana as quick as possible, rebuff when needed, be ready so when the tanks call for the next pull, you're there. And in Monday, we typically get Florida and the main tank to dictate our pace. And we're going to try something similar on Sunday as well, right? And so stay attentive and be in position. And small things, even if we don't identify them and you identify them to minimize downtime, the goal is, have as little downtime as possible between pulls because it really adds up in the course of a raid. The second thing is communication. I'll face it in two ways. If you're unsure about assignments, mechanic, or even your class, step up, ask before a pull. Nobody is expecting you to know everything, and would rather answer the question beforehand than spend 5 minutes recovering from preventable wipe or step. Could be healer position at Vash, could be as simple as even like, let's say you ran out of network connectivity, somehow log in on your phone and Discord and ping, something like that, right? Communication on both ends. Of course, outside of raid, on that tangent, don't hesitate to any of the officers or experienced players, including the Sunday team, whether it's consumes, enchants, weak auras, anything else that you need as advice to improve yourself. The goal is essentially to get everybody to improve together. And as the third thing I would say is consistency. So preparation, communication, consistency. Signing up regularly, showing up on time will make both Sunday and Monday, and especially Monday, like more successful because we are the last day of the raid, right? Of the reset. So it's very important that as soon as possible you sign up, you confirm, you're able to, give us ample time if need be if you're not able to join the next raid. And the loot system, which we'll get into later, takes all these. No, go back still a little bit. Still stay on Monday. Yeah. still, factors in these things, right? So, and again, I guess I'm almost done here. But end of the day, I want to make sure people enjoy logging in Monday Raid. We want to make sure that everybody knows and gets more acquainted with everybody. I think enough folks on Monday like playing with each other, and we want to make sure we have a solid roster 25 that likes continuing to game with each other through TBC and even the next expansion by the Lich King. Now you can go to the loot slides. Actually, before that, any Q&A on Monday? Or do we keep Q&A at the end?
Yeah, I think we'll just hold it till the end.
Well, okay. So this is the part that probably most of you a lot of questions about. So I'll try to keep it a high level and then go drill down, right? High level, the goal of Sunday is to optimize the raid's long-term success when handing out loot. So the intent is Sunday's team is to ease the more progression-oriented team. So RCLC, again, we did use loot list before. We will transition to RCLC to make the loot decisions, and this also means it'll be master looted immediately with the roll after after we clear the raid, and we will have options. And those of you who are probably new to RCLC, you need to install the add-on, and within the game itself, you'll have the option to select between BIS, need, and off spec. After which, as a loot council already, that will again, it's not about favorites, but they prioritize these upgrades based on who is the biggest impact, who by using it gives the biggest impact on the raid progression. And transparency is important. So what happens is I will report all of these in a channel on Discord, who all voted what, how the decision was made, and always people will be here to explain if you have any questions on the reasoning after the raid. We can talk about the Monday now. On Monday, the message is simple. I mean, I want to go with simple, transparent, and rewarding. So we'll start with SR, HR system. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows how soft res works until the roster stabilizes more. And the idea is to transition to the same loot system as Sunday, so we don't have two different systems. But here, the SR is straightforward. Everybody knows how it works. We are going to use soft res. You'll roll on it for there's a little infographic if you're new to it. But for HR, that'll be essentially going around similar.
Anyway, my mind always.
Yeah. So the same things that are in LC are the same items that'll be in HR. And the goal is to be fair with HR items to strengthen the rate for future clears. Again, like I said, once we stabilize, we'll be probably transition. We'll definitely transition to an RCLC model similar to Sunday. We can go to the next slide. So I would like to, before opening up discussion on this, I'm assuming I can open up discussion after this, right, Russ?
Yeah.
There's no perfect loot system, so every guild handles this differently. So we would like to, use this town hall to take your input before we finalize. So things that go into evaluation criteria in an LC is attendance, sign up consistency, and reliability, because that's how we get assignments and confirmations faster. Raid performance, team contribution, upgrade impact, long-term commitment, right? Now, before I ask you guys to rank this, right, in open discussion, things you want to think about will be how should attendance be the biggest factor? How should early signups matter, right? Getting confirmation assignments, how does that matter? And essentially, does raid performance outweigh attendance? Does upgrade impact override everything else? And how do we also keep in mind, this one of the things Loot List had a problem with, is how do we treat newer players who haven't built attendance yet more fairly? And should attendance, for example, should it be only part of breaking ties or be part of every decision? So these things you want to think about before you rank these between 1 to 5. And with that, I'm essentially done with my spiel.
Yeah, perfect.
Can I add something that I feel like we kind of skipped over? A couple things that I don't believe we touched on. First is like going back to what I said about like things being open ended for us, like things not necessarily right now set in stone. So, in addition to you guys deciding on loot, the other part that we need to talk about as a whole and discussion is our raid times. Right now,
Good one.
to simplify it for this week, we are running the same raid times as we were doing for the past, year, pretty much. Well, more than a year for everyone that's been around, but for TBC wise, for the past like half a year, over half a year. But raiding on Sunday, Monday has its own issues, especially if like we get a last minute call out. Usually, what ends up happening is the pool of people capable of coming to fill at that point, it dwindles a lot because they've already raided throughout the week. At the same caveat, I know that there is some people in here that just literally cannot raid any other day but Sunday at our raid time, because of work, life, family, whatever the case is. But we want to do right by what the vast majority want. So if it ends up being a case where hypothetically there's only one person who wants to keep it on Sunday, but everybody else wants to move it to, I don't know, Thursday or whatever, then that's something that needs to be discussed and put into consideration. Vice versa, if majority of people do not want us to move our raid days and times because they're comfortable and they've already made adjustments in their life to make that happen, then let's keep it. So those are two things right there, that and loot. And then the next one, if I missed this fuss, I apologize, but we were gonna touch on even the name Interim, right?
Yeah. So we were going to touch on that. I think for right now, it might be best, unless there's an overwhelming opinion against the name and whatnot. I think the effort that Freeze, Iwan, and I have already sunk into like making this transition as smooth as possible. It would kind of be a pain in the ass to like pull everything out of the guild bank, create a new, So I think a good time would be either at the end of next phase or start of Wrath would be a better time if we did want to migrate to a new name.
Okay, and then what about the tabard thing? Is that just coming up?
Yeah, so for the tabard design contest, Hedis, it was Hedis's idea. He said it earlier this morning, and then we stole it, and we put it in here.
He is the smartest.
He is truly,
Best
except for
player,
picking
too.
classes. So we'll there's a site where you can design a tabard, and what we'll do is we'll just kind of crowdsource them and maybe do a bracket or just plain voting, and the highest vote wins. We'll do something like that. It's not ready yet. Oracle, you're hot micing, by the way. It will be coming out soon. So that's just like something to look forward to. Iwan kind of touched on it for Guild Bank for next phase. Our previously our Guild Bank was a piggy bank for consumes for one person, and so we have already thrown in a bunch of mats and consumes, and Goncalvo, thanks, you are a freaking beast for throwing a bunch of stuff in today. We know progression is going to be expensive,
Oracle, we can hear your mom, man.
Yeah.
He's muted now.
We're going to be using the guild bank for progression, so consumes, haste pots, just literally anything. Go throw it in there. The shadow protection cauldrons are very fucking expensive. So just whatever you can contribute that you have over. It's not an expectation, but hey, it's great for you guys to do that. And Iwan and I have talked for a long time about signups and confirmations. If we keep the same raid time, we are wanting rosters to go up Thursday, so the people who are either say they can't make it or whatever happens, we're changing comp for a week or whatnot, trying out someone else. We want to give everyone enough time to go find a pug that's not very last minute. So we're gonna try and have rosters be up on Thursday. So sign up and confirm by Friday, or else we're gonna look for someone for that week who can fill. And that would be unfortunate if you guys missed because we just didn't confirm or didn't sign up. Also, Sunday guys, please sign up for Monday. Monday guys, please sign up for Sunday. We're all one big team here. I do real quick before we go into more Q&A that I think Freeze, Dave, and Iwin can answer a lot of questions for. I do want to announce our first interim GM of Interim, and just so he can prep his speech. And it's a guy who's been here for a long time and has kind of done everything for the guild that's been asked for him. So Doom Tickler Roy, I just want to say congratulations on being the first interim GM of Interim. So get that speech ready.
Get that speech ready. I'd like to thank the Academy and all of the things.
Yeah, so just be looking out for that gift basket soon. We're looking forward to a banger Gladiator 300 level speech on Sunday to kick us off.
Okay. All right. I'll get working on it.
All right, sweet. So yeah, open forum on anything that's touched on here. Iwin, Freeze, if you guys have other things that you think we've missed out, let's just, go at it.
I think we talked enough. Let's hear them talk.
Yeah, I agree.
Like 46
I
minutes.
especially talk too much.
No.
So who's tanks for the Sunday?
The tanks for Sunday are Jinx and Goncalvo.
Cool.
I'd just like to highlight that you're pronouncing interim incorrectly, but other than that, I'm good to go.
Listen here, Canadian.
Yeah, it's a Canadian thing there.
Aluminium and shit.
Okay, but yeah, definitely we do need your guys' feedback, especially on the loot aspect.
But
craft it.
I've got a quick
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I might have missed it, but what is the loot system for both raids?
It's different. So for Monday's raid, it's going to be, for the time being, it's going to be SR with some items loot canceled still that are still big items. Sunday's raid is going to be RCLC. We still need to go over, as leadership, need to go over some things that were spoken on today by Freeze, but I think kind of need to be polished, because for example, the system that they use in Big Heals on Me is not going to really work for us as a speed run. So doing the whole click on that and then let us go loot council and talk about it first, we can't do that. So we're gonna have to figure out a system that is applicable for us.
The way we talk about, there's this. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, Ivan, how to implement it. So it gives about a minute or 2 minutes to reward, and then after that, there's no rolling. That's the difference. So, but
No, it's not about that. It's I don't want us talking about it during raid.
No, there's no
should be
talk
already
there.
decided on ahead of
So
time.
we'll have it preset, and that's the thing. So if you go back to Q&A, what's predetermined is go to the next third step. What we would like people to evaluate. No, sorry, before that, is these are the criterias, right? Is these are based on which each item will is rewarded to a player, right? So again, since it's open forum and we want to make this with your input especially, if I were to ask specifically the questions is how much of an attendance versus performance factor is. So want to hear your thoughts on how you guys want to rank it. And this is something that we all want to do is we all want to get your opinion as well on this. And essentially think about how you want to treat new players who haven't built attendance yet. Those kind of metrics that I discussed earlier about. So if I could have you guys rank. Go ahead.
So yeah, I used to use RCLC, and it's actually a really good system because it allows you as a raider to really see what pieces you want to put forward. You do either need an upgrade, you can do need minor upgrade, you can do off spec, or you can do greed, essentially the options. And just as long as everyone's put, particularly for both teams really, as long as you're putting the raid first, no one's going to be just needing on every single piece. So it similar to the loot list that we were doing previously, where you would prioritize your item. You essentially will be doing that, but with 4 selections. Is it an upgrade? Is it not an upgrade? Or is it a side grade or a minor upgrade? I believe is the option.
You can, you can completely customize it. And
yeah, so really,
I think the point is that as long as it's at the end of the raid and we don't waste time.
It will be.
Time's ticking.
It will be end of the raid where it's rolled out, right? But the thing is, what are all the criteria is where we wanted to get your opinion on, or how you want to write. These are the criteria, but your opinion on the factors of this.
Real quick to help out iWin, if we're moving fast enough with the hour timer of loot, you usually send it out as everyone ports out to like Shatrath and start flying to the next one.
Exactly.
So by the time you get there, you've already got everyone rewarded. You just start trading as you get inside. So the time thing is not too much of an issue if you're fast.
It is, because if we're having the difference is like, it's not going to be that case, because if you're telling me that we still have to go and freaking decide who's like, oh, all these fucking 5 people all pressed that they need is their phase best, for example, and then now we have to go discuss on that, like, and then we have to do that now for like 30, 40, 50 items. That is not going to be enough time.
There wouldn't be.
There wouldn't be
there wouldn't be discussion. And the thing that Freeze and I have talked a lot about is that it's not just vanilla RCLC. There's going to be, Hedis and I have often had talks about loot and priorities, and that's kind of how we help set them in Big Yikes for casters. And so there's still going to be that flavor of, Dave's helping with a little bit of prioritization on the healer side. Like, let's say it's biz for 2 classes, but it's just far and away better for this. Or like an example with the previous tier or the current tier of like Iwan and I talking about the tier pieces between mage and hunter. And we can still set these sort of priorities within the list, but not get in the way of having a single person during the raid have their entire responsibility be handing out loot, and then we're running a full raid with 24 and a half people because half of their time is figuring out who to loot it to.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to talk more.
Yeah, it's still a discussion.
So I mean,
this was mostly a presentation to make sure, like, if everyone was like, "No, fuck this," like, we're going a different route, and we can dive deeper into this for sure.
The main problems. Let's talk about the main problems we have faced so far. Right, is that people, especially Monday, messed up or didn't know how to prioritize. They knew what was biz, but they did it wrong. One person did loot list right, one person did it wrong. So they're like, we're forever behind the other person. The other thing was, training basically. Now we can go back to it. It's not a discussion to go back to it. I've had so many comments on performance versus attendance. So we want to gauge at least what we're thinking, at least first, right? Is the idea is like we want to see what people viewed this as before we set those weights in, and ideally we'll have those already. We know who's attending, we know who's performing, but have those weights in to already pre-qualify who will need. For example, we know if a mage is having 3 sets and is missing like the 4th set, versus it's also a bis item for a hunter, we'll know that beforehand already. So we're not going to ask people to roll or vote before it, but we will already have that decision beforehand, but it's still transparent to everybody else.
So before we dive deeper into that, let's open. So is there anyone in here that is completely against this system of loot, that is like, no, you guys are fucking stupid. I don't think this is fair for Sunday's team.
Sunday and Monday, both.
A couple of things I'd like to mention as somebody who's been on Loot Council with RCLC for the past phase is the app is buggy. Something to consider.
Yeah.
And also, as far as like you can give loot out after raid, but in progression, right? And when raids get longer and we're still trying to make times, then that might not be as easy with timers going down. So
what I think, that's a good point too. But that'll be the same point regardless of which system we use.
True.
Even if you do need and everybody passes, like we're allowed to do it halfway. Yeah.
And I think an adjustment for that point specifically is we're aware of like what the L seed items should be, especially if they're early in a raid, and we should do our best with us and the other people who are going to be involved in these loot council decisions to pre-prepare these things. Like for example, with DSTs, we went into Gruul knowing who was first, second, and third, and so when it dropped, it was like, okay, hey, this is going to this guy, and there wasn't that need for a pull away and discuss.
To just add on to House there, also, you want to make sure everyone's on the same version of RCLC before raid day, because that can really fuck up the handing out loot if someone doesn't have up to date.
Yeah, that's one. Those are the two things. I guess all three of us are from BHM, so we know those things happen. Yeah, we know all those. It's especially with Blizzard updates, right? The add-on is not. What I was discussing and what I was looking at was there's a little bit of friction that happens when you take it away from in-game experience, and that's really what Lootlist did. Was it tried to solve the problem here on a website rather than do it in game? It was the ability to lift people out of that.
Yep.
It's the experience issue, right? Do you want to solve it within the game, or do you want to solve it outside the game? So that was the only feed. Those were the two things, and I personally had initial feedback against it, but then I also see specifically on Loot List the weightage for attendance versus performance. Other things come in, so those things are not factored, right? You just award as you go, and those things came up. You could come and say, "Hey, ignore that." I'll give you an example, Reigns. Right? There's a mage that's not here, right? I don't have my head either. This affected me too, right? So the thing is, but he's not on the loot list, so I kind of gave the tier head to him. Does that make sense? So it's like, whereas like in LC, you could make the decision of who goes to what, but the way I see it is, should be more fair in terms of consistency as well. So Lootless already factored those in. Who signed up? If you signed up, you got 0.25 points and stuff like that. So how do you want to factor this? And I hope open to hear your thoughts and feedback too. Gregory, I know you were in LC, right? How you factored it in terms of weightage and percentage point?
I think it's got to be a balance, like there can't be any raid without consistency. So that's that's got to be pretty weighted pretty heavily. But at the same time, if we're trying to put together times, the performance has got to be weighted like highly as well. So I mean, with a loot council, that's something you can discuss. That's something you can kind of like weigh person to person or piece to piece that you're looting out. So.
And
I think you have options. I don't know if there's any like hard number I'd give a weight to it, but
that's the entire thing. It's flexible versus fixed. Like we had in the previous system, it was fixed. Good Reigns.
Yeah, one thing I don't want to try and get too mixed up here with the weighting system, but I agree it should be pretty stabilized across the board. But I know I had before I rejoined Big Yikes, I had a lengthy conversation with Iwin, and one of the biggest things, big picture wise. And again, you want to do your best to weight evenly, in my opinion, is attendance. Because even if you're awful, even if you're mid, even if whatever, we know that you're giving pieces to people that will continue to show up, rather than have someone that's an elite, a 50 parser show up for 2 weeks, take the good shit and leave. Now it's like, great, we had someone that performed amazing or even above, average, but they're gone. They're not coming back. So it's like one of the biggest things, in my opinion, and again, you want to do weighting as best you can, but in my opinion, number one will always, hands down, be attendance, because I'd rather have someone that's mid, that gets all those investment pieces, for the whole expansion, rather than just handing it out to a new raider every 2 weeks, if that makes any sense.
I agree with you. Guys, we've had 7 DSTs drop in
that's crazy.
Saturday raid.
That's crazy.
Do you know how many on Sunday raid? Do you know how many are left? 2. Me and J-Rock. That's it.
I just want to let everybody know my last guild that I was in, I seeded 9 DSTs.
Jesus.
Okay.
Wow.
But
You guys are just fucking rubbing it in at this point. Holy.
Yeah, I know. What the hell, man? We saw 0.
I did forget to mention though. I also know 100% the opposite side of that is how the hell are new people gonna get any kind of leverage to get pieces? So
Right.
that's definitely a hard balancing act. And I agree with Freeze that how the hell are new people going to get loot if attendance is that weighted that heavily? So that's why I was saying try to weigh it more even, not as hard, but overall big picture, that is going to be the number one in my opinion.
Yeah, big items leaving the guild is a culture killer.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and it's tough to recruit on the same time, like to get new players in when they know they were not going to get loot for a week or two. You know,
Yeah,
no one wants to
there's
join
no
that
incentive.
I think Freeze
So
was trying to
did
get a
we have-
lock that won an investment see the week.
Yeah. I go to the Westmans. He's joining Monday. This
Nice,
Monday.
nice.
He's back. So, but the thing is, that's exactly what Lootless did, right? It prevented it to the, like the mage, account this, and luckily we had the druid who got the paladin back, but that's LC, right? So you can't. No system is perfect. But what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, though I agree with it. The one opinion I want to do is sign up. This is something irking me and Iwan a lot. Is sign up as well should I think be factored in because the faster people sign up,
100%.
like less gets assignments in, and they're really good players. They're consistent, but I don't know. There are a couple players I've been DMing. I mean, I don't know. They just like turn off the Discord, right? So I think that's the main thing moving forward. We want to factor that in more.
For sure, yeah. I recall in vanilla, we would have like 45, 50 signups, and then 35 would show up.
Yeah. So, rewarding that, and I think everybody's agreed on this. Attendance, consistency is more important. We'll factor that in, and the other thing is what I feel like is from upgrade perspective, right? Say we can make it. The one flexibility is we could view the gear week by week as progression and make decisions on that to make sure it's amplified correctly here without having to mess up loot list. And especially with the problem I have with loot list
Bean,
was
if you're
really
still
good
here,
players, if they were to
DST is
join
a
the
weapon
guild
or trinket.
the raid
It's a
halfway,
trinket.
they
It's a
look at
really
the system
extremely
and
rare
they're like,
trinket.
no, I'm not going to sign up because I'm -4 behind everybody, right? So that means they're not getting any loot. So that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it took them a month to catch up, which I can understand that frustration.
I think it's a balance. Like we still
Yeah.
want to give it all to the people that are there. It's just.
I mean, I think it really is going to be really dependent on the type of item, right? Like
Exactly.
hypothetically, right? Like, I don't care if you're the fucking #1 warrior in the world.
does
If you
someone know,
join
like, a
and it's
meeting?
your
No.
first or second week,
I'll
you're
fill
not
you
going
in
to
after
get
reading.
glazed.
I'll
Like,
fill
you
you in.
shouldn't be rewarded by that. And then at the same time, if there's a smaller item that is an upgrade, then you also shouldn't be restricted for like a month before you can get anything at all.
Well,
yeah, it's
when
usually
I
how
was
that's handled. It's like you get the SR items, but you don't get the HR
Yeah,
items.
yeah.
I just I will encourage
Okay, Bean.
classes like damage classes to like interact with each other, especially if
Yes.
it's like a contested item, and
Yeah.
see how much it's weighted against each other, and try to come to a common ground on a piece. Who gets more priority than that's what we did in Lucid.
Well, I
is
mean
like-
that is something that like going into
But-
next phase, like myself, Fuss, Heated, like certain people that represent, certain roles will get together and we'll talk and figure that out so that it makes it more clear. Because that's like Fuss said, like for example, going into this phase originally, first off, we were planning to do like, okay, we're gonna give the mages 2 pieces each, and then we're gonna give the hunters 4 pieces because we can't, as a hunter, I can't replace anything until I have 4 pieces to replace my beast lord.
And that's what class leaders like. When I was a class leader in Lucid, I knew as a hunter what I needed and for what was important and what was not so important, and I worked with like the rogues and all that. So, but yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
We had big discussions.
So the same thing going forward. We did it, going into this past phase, and we plan to do it going forward as well, so that we can make sure that the classes and roles that is going to be the biggest impact for. I mean, again, this is like for right now, Sunday. Eventually, Monday we'll get to that point as well. But that's where we want to get to that point. That the biggest impacts of where it's going to make the biggest difference. Like when we did the fucking analysis of how much DPS gain it is for a hunter over like the 4-piece for a mage, it wasn't even close. And I was like, yep, you know what? You don't have to show me anything else, Fuss. You made your point. I'm like, get all the mages their 4-piece, bro. I'll get my shit after you guys. And that was it. And it needs to be, again, like, we need to get out of that mentality, like anyone's mentality of, I understand we all want, best as soon as possible so we can perform the best as possible and show up on the logs. Trust me, I'm like, I love more than probably almost anyone in here to post my fucking boss parses and my boss damage and shit all the fucking time. So I get it. But at the same time, we need to, what's gonna carry us through? Is it one person being full bis and everything gonna carry us through as a guild, or will us having a successful overall team and collective goals of doing what's best for the collective team itself, what's going to be best? I don't think anyone here wants to have to go through like another guild search or something because fucking something happened that the guild couldn't clear and they disbanded or whatever the case is because we weren't properly gearing. Like for example, the tanks typically in any successful guild, you gear out the tanks first so that the DPS can go wild and DPS. If you gear out the DPS and you don't give shit to the tanks, then the tanks can't maintain threat, so the DPS end up, fucking screwed and aren't able to do anything. So, but then some people will be like, oh, but then you're, just fucking giving all the loot to like a couple individuals, even though they're not seeing the bigger picture of we're giving the loot to these individuals because it's going to help carry through rest of the raid and make it easier for everyone else to play. So that's where it needs to be understood that the decisions aren't being made for like personal glory or anything like that. It's being made to make sure that the highest chance of success of our team is met and that we're able to clear content as easily and efficiently as possible.
Yeah. And so I threw in a form in general chat. It's kind of, shoddy. There's not a great Google form template for a hierarchy. So fill that out if you can. I think we covered some stuff. I don't want to keep everyone here too long. We've been here about an hour now. If you have any other further thoughts, reach out to any of us. Reach out to Dave. Sorry to volunteer you, Dave, but like, especially if you're a healer, reach out to Dave. We're going to go over strategy here, with tanks. So we'll do that in a separate chat, but we're going to try and maximize that visibility for you. So you guys all know what the deal is days before we even step into an instance. For Sunday, we are going to try and everyone be in Discord like 30 minutes early just to refresh, but we'll have the strategy deck posted for you guys. We're thinking probably tomorrow. And really refined, really clean. And then, yeah, any questions about anything we've talked about tonight, anything we missed, please direct it to any one of us.
The only thing I got a concerned of progression, next phase. My only concern is the end of the raid at the end of the week. That's my only concern with the lockout, so.
The end of the raid.
You want to touch on this first, or you want me to answer it?
I'm
not. So like Sunday, Monday's cutting it close. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
I see what you mean.
Couple things. First off, something since you're new, Gonclavo, you weren't here, but essentially what we did for going into SSC and TK was we had PTR, and we're planning to do that again. PTR, we held it on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday. They had PTR like a week ahead of launch or something. We plan to do that definitely again. Last time for SSC TK. Fuss and myself, we posted like some strategies and guides and stuff. We'll be doing that as well to prepare people. There's even like I have a little fucking web app mini game for how to do one of the encounters, so you can get practice for Terran Gorefiend in Black Temple. So preparing you guys as much as possible, so we're not going in there and wiping and using a ton of consumes. It's easier and better for us to go into PTR together and go hypothetically wipe and use consumes there where it doesn't actually affect us or cost us anything other than time, and let us use the time in PTR to make mistakes and learn and make progress. And then when the actual launch happens, there's not really much progress that needs to be made outside of just cleaning things up and making it consistent. So that's the first thing. Second, it goes back to also Sunday, Monday. Yes, it is a difficult cutoff time, which again goes back to if you guys are thinking of like a better day of the week that the majority of people wish to change our raid times to, then we're fluid in that. But just understand that by changing the raid times, that we will lose some people, because some people, like again, have already have their work schedules and whatnot, that maybe for them the only day they can raid is Sunday or Monday or whatever, and so by moving it we would lose people. So that's something to keep in mind. PTR absolutely will have to be on a weekday. We're not going to be able to fucking do PTR on like Sunday, Monday, really, and be like, okay, we're prepared to go. Because typically in Blizzard fashion, like a week ahead of time, they'll be like randomly on the fucking Wednesday, be like, PTR goes live tomorrow, and then that's it. That's your notice. And it's at that point that, we'll have signups and whatnot, and we'll have some type of fucking weighted reward for those that show up, the same way we did back in SSCTK when we used loot lists. We were giving like bonus points to people that showed up to the PTR back then to help further incentivize it. And we'll do some type of weighted average or something based off of our loot system that we use.
Yeah, we don't have to cover like everything with that, but yeah. I hope I know I'm not the only person who heard PTR and got a little bit of PTSD from the SSCTK PTSD or experience. It will be different. It will be better. We definitely learned our lessons, and we got a much better group now. So just thank you guys all for coming. Once again, if you guys have any questions or thoughts, we'll be putting out some polls very soon. Rainmons, please post that VOD. I appreciate you recording that.
No problem.
So yeah. Thanks again, guys. I will look forward to chatting to some of you guys on Sunday, and then the rest on Monday. That's it.
Appreciate it.
That's it.
Yeah, appreciate the open forum.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, good night.
Sounds good. Yeah, we gotta adjust the volume on some of those.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.
Damn.